Here's your host, Chelsea Edwards.
Welcome to another episode of Chattin With Chelsea. I'm your Daytime Bestie, Chelsea Edwards. We just came off a 3-day weekend, which I usually look forward to because I always overestimate how much I'm going to get done, right? And it never quite works out. Like Friday, I had to pull my son out of school because he was running a fever. So for the next 2 days, I took care of him, forced him to take his cold medication, monitored the fever, made homemade soup. And then the next 2 days, I ate that leftover soup because he so generously passed on his illness to me. Yay, parenting. As parents, there is so much that is out of our control, right? But what about the things that we can control? Like how well we take care of ourselves. Well, Pure Barre Fitness is here today to give us some ideas on that. And then I will admit, while I was sick, my son, he got to watch a very unhealthy amount of television. But what about all the other times? So we've got some ideas here. Let's start with maybe opening some new books. Breakout author Dewana Tolbert is launching her author era with a powerful 6-book children's series inspired by her own kids and grandkids, helping children see themselves, share their feelings, and start meaningful conversations. Now, when I say meaningful, I really do mean meaningful because these book titles hit me when I saw them. I mean, we've got I Don't Have to Give Everyone Hugs. Amen to that.
Yes.
I Don't Have to Be Like My Siblings. I Don't Have to Live with Mommy and Daddy.
Yes.
I mean, you are really hitting some topics here.
I tried.
Yes.
The fact that I use my kids and grandkids helped me along the way, but yes, these topics are like books that you wish you had when you were younger, well, when I was younger, to help us explain it more.
Yes.
Instead of not having the words, read the book, use the book as your tool, and that helps, start the conversation with our kids.
And that is super, like breaking it down, because oftentimes we will find ourselves at a loss for words trying to explain these big concepts or complicated situations to children. But what was your process for breaking it down into these books?
Just wanting to go back into what I would tell my kids or grandkids. Like I said, when they were younger, I was very direct with them, and I'm very direct with my grandkids. If you don't want to give someone a hug, if you're not up to eating this or going this place, just be very vocal, as long as you're respectful. And so I just took that process of having a casual conversation that I would have with the kids or the grandkids and just wrote it out, scripted it, got it illustrated, and put it into a book.
And made a
books.
A whole series, ma'am.
Yes.
Today we're talking about taking back control as parents. What are some things that you've discovered maybe writing these books where it's, I can't control this, but I can control this, or try to, maybe?
Yeah. Some of the things were, I guess, not knowing where your kids are going to end up, or not knowing if you've done a good job as a parent. So I guess just taking control of, hey, I did my best. I put it out there. I have receipts to show that I've tried. And then if you can get it out, if you can take that and do something else with it to make you a better human, then, that's about the best I can ask for.
I love that. Yes, that's all we can ask for. Amen. I want to get into this one because this title stood out to me, and this is like your favorite, really.
Right. This is our plus. This is our major seller.
Yeah.
This one was based off of my granddaughter. She's very vocal when she wants to be, but she's always been that type of person where she understood at a very young age where she was. We always call her, when you say people have an old soul, like she's been here before.
Yes.
She's been here like multiple times, but she, even with mom, dad, yaya, pawpaw, she'll nudge you, and it's fine. A lot of people get confused by saying, hey, she's being disrespectful because she doesn't hug. As long as she speaks, we kind of have an old habit where we say, go hug Uncle so-and-so.
Yeah.
Go hug Aunt whatever. And a child can kind of get the feeling of when they want to do it, or also I think children also can feel when maybe they have a hesitation toward a certain person. And so they can read it before us as adults read it. And so I like to respect that with her. But this is one, like I said, it touches a lot with a lot of people, and it provides them with the opportunity to read the book with their child. And then as the child has questions, then it helps you articulate where you want to go with it from there.
Man, I love that so much, because I do feel like that is something that our children should be able to control, who they give their hugs to. And sometimes, especially like you said, you know, back in the day, it was very much, oh, go hug so-and-so, go, you know, just being nice.
Right.
But you might be making your child hug somebody who is not the person they should be hugging.
Exactly.
Man, great book here.
Exactly.
I Don't Have to Live with Mommy and Daddy. Where does that one come from?
That's my bonus daughter. So she went in between my house with her dad, which is my husband, and then with her mom. And so that one is really good. I have a lot of people who come up and who purchase the book, struggle with the kid not understanding why they had to leave one home with the mom or not leaving, you know, with the dad, and floating in between the idea of, did they do something wrong, and should they not be excited when they were mom? Should they be less excited with dad? And so it's just like you say, it's kind of a fun play on very tough situations. But again, those who have purchased the books, they find it by reading through it, or even at the age, letting children read through it, and then having them ask questions to see what they got out of the book. But yeah, all of them are approached that way for my customers.
Important conversations to have. Where can we find all the books?
All the books are on Amazon.
Okay.
I'm working to get expanded distribution so I can get them in different stores, but that may be throughout this year before that happens. But Amazon, you can look up by my name, or just type in one of the titles and they all pull up.
Excellent. Well, can't wait to see more from you. Thank you for kicking off this episode on getting things in control, or under control somehow, what we can. All right, so that includes the screen time. You know, go ahead and pick up a book and then turn off the screen. We'll have more tips on that when we come right back. Time to get our kids' screen time under control. Joining us to help with that, we've got Rebecca Roberts, Executive Director of Cycle, and Jay Lee, Principal over at Burnett Elementary. First, Cycle, explain what you all do.
We're a local charity changing young children's lives through education. We work in Title I schools with second graders to improve their literacy. And if they do make the grade that is set individually by their teacher, they get a bicycle.
Oh, nice. I like that. That's a good trade-off there. We hear it all the time, reduce the screen time, even if you're doing learning apps and things like that. Why does it make such a big difference if we do that?
You know, Jay can speak to this as well, because obviously he's on the chalk face, as it were. But when a child is working on a computer or a phone or a tablet, whatever it is, there is so much information, especially nowadays. There's graphics, there's words, there's sound, there's movement, and your whole brain is just wired. It's like overkill, you know? It's the first time that you experience something amazing, and it's just constantly at you, right? So that's what's happening to our children's brains and to ours every time we engage with our electronic device, whatever it is.
Yeah, so the recommendation is typically, you know, find other things, go outside, or let the kids be bored, or read. So we had some recommendations earlier in the show. Jay, is there a way that you can tell with kids at your school which ones are reading at home and which ones aren't, or which ones are maybe spending a lot of time on the screen?
Absolutely, because when you're greeting them in the morning, if they read a new book yesterday, they're ready to share that with you. They're already so excited. Mr. Lee, remember that book that I told you, I showed you what I checked out? Yeah. Well, I want to share that with you. All right, let's talk. Let's walk and talk as we're walking into the classroom. When you find a child who gets connected with a book, that only starts their love for reading.
I love that. And they're able to talk about other things other than what they're watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for parents who may not have really gotten started on this journey, reading at home a whole lot, what are some beginning steps that you would recommend?
You know, we talk about this even at the pep rallies. I say to the children, Saturday and Sunday, are you supposed to read every day? Yes, okay. What about Saturday and Sunday? Well, I say, look, get out of bed, go downstairs to have breakfast. Even if you just read what's on the cereal box, you're reading. If there's a flyer, read it. Sometimes when I'm working with my grandchildren, my children are grown up now, I'll be cooking dinner and I'll say to them, read to me. Talk to me about your day and then read to me. Even when you're in the car, ask them to read the names of the stores they're passing, etc. There's always somewhere where you can read, isn't there? But making it special with like nighttime reading, or, you know, let's not put on the TV, let's finish that book. Do you agree?
I agree, because then it becomes a very special time.
Yes.
And if you've got multiple kids, you've got to make multiple special times.
Like you have
Absolutely,
multiples, yeah.
So the idea really is again, and I think that's where it leads to how can I create this time? And we're all busy.
So busy.
We're so busy.
Yeah.
And so it could be a set schedule, and there are those that are so precise. But any moment that you can have, just like what Rebecca was saying, if you're driving down the road, when you see certain things, what is that? That's environmental print. We want them to learn that. That's what young kids learn when they're in the back seat with your young child.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me what that word is, or what does that M describe? Well, I know that. That's McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's right. That's them understanding it.
And what else starts with an M? You
That's
know,
right. Absolutely.
keep going.
And you keep going
Yeah.
with that conversation while still keeping your eyes on the road.
Oh
right?
yeah, that part. Now I do
yes.
keep books in the car for that reason, because I found, like we were just saying, everybody's busy. It's very busy, but we had this commute that could be reading time. So it's books stay in the car. So
Yes.
that's one of my ways of incorporating more reading. For those of us who, like I mentioned, I was sick. He got a lot of screen time during that time. Even, you know, during holidays and things like that, kids might get more screens than usual. Are there any recommendations for like a transition, you know, without having to deal with a fight to get them back to a routine, back to more reading?
You know, it's funny, I was telling Jay, my grandchildren, we went on a trip this Christmas time, and where we were, there was no television and no internet. And they actually didn't miss it.
Nice.
We played board games, we had conversations, and one of the things that we used was some audiobooks. There's some great podcasts out there. One of the things that my grandchildren particularly like are the Greek mythology. And there's a podcast, and it's at a child's level. So they're actually learning something very nice, but they're engaged while they're looking around in the car or whatever, but they're not actually having to use a screen at that point. I remember when I was a child, and I'm one of 7 children, my father used to read to us. We would all sit on the floor, and I remember particularly Rudyard Kipling's Kim. And I remember just being like, every night we'd get another half hour and waiting to find out. So if you find more of a chapter book, they want to know what's coming next.
Yes, I love that idea of getting into the chapter books as well. Not feeling like we have to finish the whole book in one
chapter
night.
a night.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, we got to take a break, but when we come back, we've also got to take control of our bodies. So we've got somebody to help with that. Pure Barre Fitness will be right here after this. And speaking of things we can control, what about those little muscles in our bodies that we don't use as much? Pure Barre is here to fix that for us. We've got Kat, we've got Gabby, we've got Brandy, all from Pure Barre, the Cypress location. There are a lot of locations, but y'all come all the way from Cypress to help us out today. Now, I've heard plenty about Pure Barre, but I guess not enough to understand what Pure Barre is, so who can explain that to me?
I'll start.
Okay.
Okay, Pure Barre is, think low impact, high intensity, full body workout.
Okay.
So safe on your joints, safe for all ages, and a lot of fun.
I'll
let you.
A lot of fun, even for moms.
For moms,
Yeah,
absolutely.
great for moms.
Okay.
That low impact nature is great for keeping moms healthy during pregnancy, and then strengthening and toning and giving you that energy all the way through having grandkids.
Nice. All right. Well, let's get to it then. What's our first movement?
All right, we're gonna do some upper body first. So do you wanna use the weights?
Yes.
They're 2-pound weights we brought for you today, but of course there's lots of options.
I'm
so
going
Brandy's
all
gonna show
in.
without weights.
I'll do the 2
Yeah,
pounds.
you gotta.
I'm going midway in.
Yeah, so we're gonna start. Your feet come hip width apart parallel.
Okay.
So soften the bend in your knees. Arms reach to the low diagonal. Palms face in. And a nice heavy tailbone, core engage. And we're gonna do a little bicep curl. So just little flexes. So you wanna think small right here.
Small.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're supposed to feel
you
your
did say-
bicep pop off your bone.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, so we work all of our major muscle groups to fatigue. So the idea is this would be a really long time. You have your arms up and you're like, I can see you holding your
Yeah,
breath.
I'm like, oh, I see it. I see what's happening here.
So you would find that shaking zone is good. Let's change it up. So arms go straight now, and then we'll bend your arms to 90, extend straight. So bigger range. You bend, then extend. Perfect. Yeah.
Like these are movements people can really do
Yeah,
like,
you
at
could-
home while they're watching right now. Get into
Yeah,
it.
join us.
Yes.
Yeah, we're targeting the tops of your shoulders here, still working on your posture. So alignment, shoulders over your hips. Gorgeous, you're a pro.
Oh,
my
yeah.
goodness.
This pro is feeling it. Feeling the burn.
Let's hold this one at 90 and then take a little press up. Press up. Take nice number, narrow 11 with your forearms. See how it changes it? I see the shake.
Okay.
And we'll
There
do
she
that
goes.
for
You feel that?
7, 8, 9. That's your 10.
Okay,
Check it
see,
out.
now I already have to ask, how long is a class typically?
Class is 50 minutes long, about. So we have different class formats, which Kat can talk about as well. So it kind of gives every fitness level, fitness experience an option.
I can see 50 minutes definitely working for me because that was like 15 seconds.
You don't have to do the weights the full 50 minutes.
Okay, good
don't
to
worry.
know. Good point. All right, what's our next?
So we have some other equipment we brought. We'll be done with the weights
All
today.
right.
If you want to grab your ball, we're gonna do a little inner outer thigh. So to set it up, bring your heels together, toes apart. Yep, all the way. You'll bring your ball between your inner thighs. And then, bring your hands to your hips. I'm here if you need a bar. Normally we'd have a bar.
Yeah, pure bar. Thank you.
So let's lift your heels up just an inch or two. Reglue them together.
Okay.
And then bend your knees a little bit lower. And now we're, And now you're just gonna squeeze the ball, release it. So squeeze in, release.
I feel like, what are we working here? I'm feeling all kinds of things happening.
Everything. Our main target is going to be your inner outer thighs. A lot of core as well. You should feel your rib cage kind of knit together to help with that balance, that stability. Let's keep moving. You'll go down and up an inch. So you go down an inch, up an inch. Down an inch. And breathe. That helps.
Yeah, I got to do that part. All right.
Yeah. So we want to try to stay in that lowest point, your working zone. So each move, your thighs will be about 2 to 3 minutes each before we take a slight break in between. And then we'll put it together to finish. So you squeeze, pulse, in and down.
Ooh. Brandy, how you doing over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
We'll be here for 7.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. 9, you got it.
Almost
for 10.
let go of the bar. There. Woo.
Woo.
All right. That was good stuff. Is this also good for women going through menopause, different changes with their bodies as well?
Yeah. It's great for that. One of the main benefits is that mental focus. You saw just now that you have to think about breathing, you're thinking about the music that's going during class, and then you're thinking about those little muscles, and so you don't have time to think about anything else.
Yeah.
It really lets you clear your mind, take 50 minutes to just focus on you, and get those mental, strong minds just like we get strong bodies.
I love that. And I imagine the music is fun. It keeps you, it's
yeah.
upbeat, keeps you going. Okay.
We love to have fun at Pure Bar too, and community is such a big part of it as well. Especially as a new mom, you get to reconnect with some new people, and I don't know, people kind of make buddies with each other, and they have friendships, and they hold each other accountable, which is really cool. A big part of it.
That was really good. Any other moves you could show me?
Do you want to do one more?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna sit down.
Okay.
I'll stay standing just to oversee. So you'll bring your feet hip width apart, parallel. Brandy and Kat are doing it. Go ahead and flex your feet. Take a light grip under your thighs. And then you're gonna just round back slightly, waistband back. Yep. And then we'll hold it here. And you go arms forward. And then we'll take a tiny twist to the right to the left. So a little oblique action. Gorgeous. Nice small controlled movements. We focus a lot on core at Pure Barre, which is also very helpful for any new mom. Beautiful. I see the shakes.
Yeah, like if you're at home laughing at my shakes, I know you better be on the floor doing this with me.
Let's head it center and then go back and up 1 inch. So you round back an inch, up an inch, nice and small. We also have lots of ways to modify, which is really awesome. If you ever needed more support, you could take the ball, put it behind your low back for that little support. You could take a light grip under your thighs if you need to. Yep, and hold it there. Let's do one more. You'll hold it low, and then hips just tuck under, tuck under. So a little scoop through your core. Think hips up to your rib cage. Really pressing through your heels for 7. That's 8, 9, and 10. How do you feel?
Woo! All right. That was good. That was definitely worth it. Yeah. Okay. So I got to get in and do a full class, right?
Yes.
All right. Where can the folks find more information about you guys?
Yeah, we're Pure Barre Cypress. You can go onto our website, book a free class. But wherever you are in Houston right now, there is a studio near you. So search Pure Barre, click on their website, and you can try a free class. We would love to meet you.
Yeah, and a good way for people to keep those resolutions going. I know people don't like to say resolutions anymore, but keep those goals going through the rest of the year, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, girls. I think we need a break after that. We'll be right back after this. Thank you to our guests, Pure Barre Fitness, Dewana Tolbert, and Cycle, who joined us earlier. You guys got to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chattin with Chelsea. Keep up with us on social at Chelsea Show Fox, and we'll see you on the next Chattin with Chelsea. Thank you for watching.